Hello everyone, it is Thursday afternoon and that means it is time for another Facebook Live. While you are finding me, I'm going to share this link with my page in case somebody is looking for it there. As soon as it shows up on my laptop, there it is. All right. A couple minutes or 1 minute to do this, and then we will get started. If you are new to my Facebook Live, I do this usually every Thursday afternoon at 3, and then I give away whatever we make this Thursday, I give it away next Thursday. So the way you get in the drawing for the card or the project is just comment here on Facebook. And then you'll be in the drawing. So last week we made this beautiful blue and green card. So I will tell you at the end who won that. The other thing you need to know, just getting back to where I was, is that the dimensions for this card will be on my blog shortly after I'm done with the video. That way, if you want to recreate this card, you have the dimensions or something similar to it, then you have the dimensions. So you can do that. All right. Almost there. Okay, we are back. We are ready to go. So this week, I am using the Delicate Whispers bundle. So those are the stamps. They are delicate. They're beautiful. And then those are the dies. And so these solid ones, die cut images. That's that one. And then the other, these ones are just standalone dies, which I love having extra leaves and things you can put behind your images. And then the paper that goes with this is gorgeous. And I meant to check, I don't know if it's still, it was on not available for a little while, and I don't know if it's come back yet. But it has this coppery shimmer to it on one side. So it is just stunning. Just beautiful. And then the other side is more your generic. Isn't that fun? So I think you've seen them all now. That one you didn't see very well. Yeah, that's it. But it's just beautiful. So of course we had to use some of that on this card. All right, set that aside. We will get started. So this is the card we're going to make. And it has some of that beautiful paper. This is also part of that designer series paper. The embossing folder, hang on, let me grab it so I can just tell you which one it is this beautiful pattern embossing folder. So that's what I used. It may be kind of hard to see, but on the white, you can see it a little bit. But it's just a little extra texture for that white piece. Oh, I guess I could show you on the one that's not covered up, couldn't I? That might be easier. Okay, let's get all of our pieces out here. We have lots of pieces. Let me show you. That might be a little easier to see. Still hard with the being white, but okay. Let's do our stamping and die cutting first. So I am going to stamp this flower and leaves. Hey, Marion. In gray granite on this scrap of basic white. Whoops, let's try that again. Luckily, there's two sides to every piece of paper. All right, set that aside. Now, let's die cut this real quick. This is the only thing that we have to die cut. The others, I already did. So this is our mini cut and emboss machine. I am going to need to get the die. That would be helpful. All right. Here, I'll show you all of this in case that's easier for you to see. Got all those fun dies. And I love it when they give you multiple ones. Like, look at all those little ones. So you can cut a whole bunch at a time. But right now, we're just die cutting the simple flower and leaves. And once you get it set where you want it, I like to use Post-it note tape. When it's something I'm cutting out a shape like that, not just a standalone, but one that's cutting out a stamped image, I like to use that Post-it note tape. That just keeps it, hey Debbie, keeps it where I want it to be. All right. Let's get our die cut machine out of the way now. Bring this back in. And I'll reuse that Post-it note tape several times, and then eventually it'll just start tearing apart. And there we go. All right, I'm going to put the die back where it belongs so I don't lose it. There we go. All right, now, this paper, if you're not aware of it, Stampin' Up! Always tells you what colors are included in the paper on the back. So, Crumb Cake, Gray Granite, Hydrangea Hue, Mossy Meadow, Secret Sea, and Bronze. All right, Hydrangea Hue is a brand new in color that will be coming out in May. I have pre-ordered those inks and blends and stuff, but they have not gotten here yet. They're supposed to be here Monday. That's what this, so here's the piece of DSP that we're using. That's what this is Hydrangea Hue and Secret Sea. Well, I don't have Hydrangea Hue, so I decided to use Balmy Blue. So I've got just light Balmy Blue, and I just did a little bit around the center. So it's mostly white, it just has a little bit of blue. And then I took my color lifter, so this is a color lifter, and you can use it if you've colored outside the lines and you need to fix it. But you can also use it just to kind of soften. So I'm just blending out where I did that blue, and it'll kind of soften it. And it takes a minute for it to take effect. All right, then I did, this is light Crumb Cake. And I just did a little bit of it on this guy. So I just kind of went over some of those lines. So not a lot of coloring on this. And then this is light Mossy Meadow. That's the green that's in this. And Mossy Meadow is very dark. But I just colored, I didn't use any of the dark. I just colored these leaves light, just solid. I probably could have used the brush end on this leaf, but the other two are kind of small, so I like to use this narrow end. And one more little leaf. There we go. Now we have our flower all colored, and you can see it's already softening around that blue. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Okay, that's all our coloring. Let's get our, so I used the triple banner punch. It's over in another box for class tonight, so I don't have it right here, but it punches out 3 different banners. So we're going to use that for our sentiment. And Mossy Meadow. And so we'll just stamp Hello Friend on here. If I can do it straight when I'm not looking right above it. Whoops. There we go. Not bad. All right. That is all of our stamping. Now we're ready to put it all together. So I have some other pieces. This is just a piece of Secret C. We're going to layer our DSP on that. So let's do that real quick. Again, all the measurements will be on my blog shortly after I'm done with this video. So that's just going to have a narrow mat around it. And then this is another piece of the Designer Series paper. So it has that pretty foil on the back, but this is the gray granite. And I have 2 dies. That is Crumb Cake, and that is Mossy Meadow. I need to poke a little piece didn't come out of the middle there. Luckily, I have the perfect tool for that. I take your pick tool with that little pointy thing. Whoops. There we go. And then I have a piece of thick basic white. So let's start building all this. Now when I have something that's embossed, I like to use my liquid glue to attach it. It just seems to stick better with, gets in those little crevices better, I think. So I'll put this on here. White on white is always elegant. Now you could certainly change this into a, into a wedding card. There's a wishing you happiness and love. You could change this into a wedding card. All right, and then this guy. Goes down here towards the bottom. So I'm leaving even border on the bottom and the 2 sides. Okay, we're going to need that again in a minute, but let's put our other Designer Series paper on. So this one, I'm going to put on dimensionals. And I'm getting to the end of this sheet of dimensionals, but do not throw away all this around the outside. You can snip it if you need a long piece. You can have a long piece. They work just as well as what's on the inside of that sheet. Come on. There we go. All right, so we're going to put that like this. All right. The rest of this is just going to go down flat with our liquid glue. So I put this first. Now I like to have mine where they're loose at the top. If you don't like that, just put some glue at the top of it. But I like to put it, I also don't like to do it right over my card. So just put a little, come on. You know it's going to come out a little bit on the bottom here. And you want to be sure it doesn't stick out over the edge of the card. But I do want it to go out over that white some, so you can see that. And then this is our little crumb cake piece. Again, a little bit of glue. Come on. There we go. On the bottom of it. Just set him right there. Uh-oh. I got stuck to it. And then this guy. Just going to put him like that. You could pop him up again if you wanted, if you didn't mind having a double layer of dimensionals. But I decided to just have the 1 layer of dimensionals. And then this, I decided I didn't want to cover any of my stamped flowers, so I just put it over here next to it. All right, and then the last thing is we need a little bling. And what I found that I had that was, so this is a copper foil in here. That was copper were these adhesive backed metallic gems. So I only have big ones left of the copper, but it works just fine. So I put one in the middle of the flower, and then just a couple others. You want to do an odd number and in a triangular type. It can be a really skinny triangle, but that's what's most pleasing, is to have an odd number and them be in a triangular shape. So there you go. There is our card. So I have a couple of other cards with this suite. One of them you saw on Facebook this morning. That was this one. This was one I got in a swap from Jackie. So it's got the DSP. And then I'm not sure where that sentiment is from, because it's not in this. It's not in this set. So it came from another one, and I don't remember where that's from. And then the other one is the card we're going to make in class tonight with this set. And it's just crumb cake. But I die cut this out of one of these papers. Let me show you. It's mostly just hydrangea hue, but it does have some floral in it, so that gives you a little bit of variation there. Sorry, that was probably loud to open that. Like this. So this, I just die cut it out of that. And then the circle that's behind it, it may be hard to see, but it's this side. So it has that copper foiling on it. All right, let's set that back out of the way. So that's what we're going to make tonight. All right. Last week's card was this one with Paradise Garden, if I remember right, and the winner of that is Nancy. So I will get that to Nancy. All right. That is it for this week. Go ahead, if you want to be in the drawing for this card, comment here on Facebook, and I will draw next Thursday for a winner. All right, I will see you next week. Bye.